What's up, Grace Girls? Welcome to the Allow Yourself Grace podcast, where we focus on helping Black women change their lives by discarding negative thoughts, pivoting in the right direction, and shifting their mindset through cultivating a trauma free lifestyle. I'm your host, Courtney Kristen, educator, content creator, life coach, counselor, and mental health enthusiast living in Houston, Texas. I created the Allow Yourself Grace podcast because I wanted to create a space for Black women to share their thoughts, feelings, and stories that make them who they are without fear of judgment. Allow Yourself Grace provides emotional support and encouragement within the Grace Girls community for women in need of non-biased opinions from women other than family and friends. Personal development, self-care, career, faith are among many of the topics we will discuss on this platform. Allow Yourself Grace podcast is here to encourage Black women to live unapologetically and thrive in being authentically who they are and were designed to be, an entire vibe. No topics are off limits. We will cover it all. Now, grab a notebook, pen, sit back, and enjoy the show. What's up? What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Allow Yourself Grace podcast. And we're in season 3, guys. I'm super excited about it. I have a guest. Yay! I love when I have guests. This is someone that I've been watching for a while on social media, and I've been kind of like, oh my God, I love what she's doing. I love her brand. I love the purpose behind her brand, and I'm just super excited for her to share. I'm going to let her kind of introduce herself and tell you guys a little bit more about who she is and what she does.
All right. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for having me. Yay, we finally get together.
Yes,
I'm super excited to be
finally.
here and glad that you reached out. I love that. My name is Lora Rosemon. I am a self-proclaimed affirmation coach. And after losing my sister is how I got into claiming myself an affirmation coach and creating Joli Ide, which stands for Beautiful Mind in Louisiana Creole. No, I don't speak Creole. Okay, so don't ask me anything, but I did ask my uncle, and I was like, how do you say it? Because I want to, put kind of like the family within what I'm doing. And so it means beautiful mind. And my sister was diagnosed bipolar disorder in her adult years, and we didn't know what that meant. And ultimately, she ended up committing suicide after, with the side effects and things like that.
Right.
And my family went through this crazy transition of loss, grief, and not really even understanding what just happened to us because we never really talked about mental health. And so my healing journey helped me create Joli Ide, Beautiful Mind, to help
Joli
empower
Ide.
women on their self-love and self-worth journey. I feel like I'm talking to my sister every day to kind of build her up. And so anyone out there that could possibly receive anything from my message, that's what I
love it. I love it because I think a lot of times we definitely don't know the signs and we don't know how to handle these things. We think we do. You think we're following whatever the doctor's telling us to do, but at the same time, we really don't know. And sometimes things can go unseen and unnoticed. So I'm so glad that you're sharing your story because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that can relate to not knowing, right? So let's talk about the brand, though. Let's talk about the brand and the vision for the brand. So what's your vision and where are we going currently with the brand?
Okay, so we are in a space of having monthly link ups. I've done this before, but we're taking it to the next level of being more intentional with conversation, more intentional with speaking life over our life. And so I like to host monthly gatherings, intimate gatherings that bring like-minded women, not yes women that agree with everything you say, but that challenge you to be your best self, right? Together, and we converse about uplifting ourselves. And that's really what it is. I think a lot of people ask me, so what are you doing and what kind of event is it? And I'm like, you really have to show up for yourself because it's the energy, it's the vibe. And sometimes we don't realize we're always in a go, go, go motion. We're always in goal setting and strategic and business and success that sometimes we forget to take care of our own mental and spiritual wellness. And that can be as simple as having cocktails, conversations, relaxing, breathing, and enjoying good energy, good conversation.
Right. No, that's definitely good, because you're right. We do get busy. We forget about ourselves. And so I like the word experience, because it's like you said, when you come, you really don't know what you're going to get.
Right.
You never know. The experience can be different each time. So I love that. I was looking at your page, and I saw that you have like some affirmation cards. I love affirmation cards. So tell me about those. Are those used during the experience? Or are they just available for purchase? Where can,
Yeah, both. So I created these affirmation cards. Like I said, after losing my sister, I did not realize the voice in my head was keeping me stuck.
Wow.
I did not realize what I was telling myself was keeping me stuck. And one of the phrases that I remember was, I don't know who I am. I don't know who I am anymore. So I began to recite this, and this is hindsight. I began to recite this, and I was like, I don't know who I am anymore. Therefore, I started walking around as if I was lost.
Wow.
A lot of people were able to influence me. A lot of people were able to do what they wanted, if you say. You know what I'm saying? Because I was vulnerable, and I was looking and seeking for, love, attention, support, encouragement. And so I was really like a lost puppy, not even realizing it. Smiling, still my happy-go-lucky self on the outside, but deep down inside, I was really, really lost. And so I had a aha moment that woke me up to say, what am I telling myself? What am I telling myself? I'm lost?
Wow.
No. And so I had to learn to kind of build myself up once I realized that the power of our words and the things that we tell ourselves is truly how you either can make or break yourself.
Very true.
Okay.
Very, very true. No, self-talk, positive self-talk is needed. And those affirmation cards just give you that boost that you need. Like, hey, let me pick one out today. And so definitely, guys, go to her page and check those out. We're going to talk social media. We're going to have her social media up on the screen so you guys can go over and check those cards out, because I've been wondering, I'm like, I want to really check them out just to see what they are, because I love stuff like that.
I have a couple of different sets.
Oh, you have different sets.
I do just a slide in. So one set is called Selfish, and it's broken up in 4 different categories: self-love, self-worth, self-discovery, selfish. So that is all about women empowerment, like what part of you don't know what you're going to get to empower that day when you pull.
I love that.
And so the second one is, you mentioned, do we do different things at the event, or what do we do at the event? It's called Selfish Daily Conversation Starters. So on one side is an affirmation, on the other side is a positive, uplifting, encouraging, or fun question to start the conversation. So you can do it by yourself, you can do it as a journal prompt, or you can have a girls' night out, girls' day in, or if your conversation is sometimes you get lost.
Very vague.
And you need to uplift that. Let's pull a card real quick.
To get it started and to stay on the positive wave, because it's easy to get off track. Let me tell you. Especially to get a lot of women together, it's very easy to get off track. So no, I love that you took time to really think through that and break those down into, I would have never thought of that. I love that. I love dealing with people who are creative, because it just gives you ideas and it really gets you thinking. I love that. One of the other things I wanted to talk about was the importance of self-care. How important do you think that is for women, but also just for people in general?
Let me tell you, my whole healing journey, had I understood the power of self-care, I know, which is why I do what I do, I know my healing journey would have shortened. Wow. Instead, I went into go mode, trying to hide that. Like, I want to help everyone. I want to share my story. I want to heal. Now, mind you, I believe that it did help me. It was a different route of healing. But had I taken time to say, today, let me figure out and see what form of meditation works for me. Let me sit and take the time to see what form of relaxation works for me, to clear my mind, to get my mind right. I didn't think of any of that. The only thing that I knew was to exercise. Because right before my sister had passed, she had me sign up for this this very expensive, very nice Lifetime Fitness.
Oh, the gym. Yes.
Very nice. That was one of our places to go. And so after losing her, I kind of dove into exercise, right? And I've always been someone who liked exercise necessarily for changing my body, not mental state.
Right.
And so this time I went in thinking I was going in to be like, okay, I'm going to get fine, fit, blah, blah, blah. I'm changing my mind. I'm doing other things. And really, I found myself healing. I found myself engaging in a space of not always focusing on, I don't know who I am anymore, or what's happened in my life, or our kids will never grow up together. Like, these are things that were flowing through my mind. And so it kind of took me out of that space every time I went to the gym. And so
it created that safe space for you.
Safe space.
Yes.
But had I known this initially, I probably would have tried a couple of more self-care practices versus stumbling and falling into that as my healing journey.
Right. Yeah, no, because I think you made a good point. Like, we have to find what works for us.
Yes, for sure.
And, like, what's good for you, and not just, like, because sometimes it's like, oh, like you said, try this with this person. Oh, come over here, and you're this person. And at this point, you're kind of lost, and you're just like, okay, let me try it. It might work. Let me go over here. And so really taking the time to really see, like, what do I like? What works for me, I think is definitely important.
Self-discovery.
Yeah, it is. It really, it's
embracing
that. Yes. Safe spaces. So you have a community.
Yes.
In the community, is that what the community does? Is it creating that safe space for women to be able to have a place to share and just feel comfortable?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It is coming with the mask off. Whether you got a full face of makeup or not, it is coming with the mask off. I remember one of the last events we had, one of our, I call them Joli bays, because Joli means beautiful, so it's beautiful bae.
That's so beautiful.
One of the things that she said was, and she started tearing up, and it really melted my heart, because I never know what people are going to receive, because it's not for me to tell you what to receive. It's for what you need to receive.
Yes.
And you just need to be open to receiving whatever that is, because you don't know what that is. And so one of the things she said was, I don't mean this in a negative way, but I really thought I was walking into something that was going to be more superficial. We take pictures, we have the girlfriends, we cheers, we eat. And she was like, I really took something away that I needed for myself. You know, and she wrote down and did our little exercise and stuff. And I was like, that meant a lot, because a lot of events, and I'm not saying superficial as in a bad way. We like our photo ops. We like our
photos, right? We want to post everything. Yes.
Post, people want to know how you doing, what's your behind the scenes, what's your life like. But there's a time when it's like, you know what? Let's turn that off and push the highlight reel to the side. Right. How you really doing when you lay down at night when all that stuff turns off, And not to say that you have to get that deep when you come into the community. Some of the ladies love to just be there because they like the energy of knowing that I'm surrounded by just authentic, genuine women. I don't have anything to say. I just want to be here. I've had women that just receive just being in the space. Yeah. And then some come to connect, because you're not just coming in saying, hey, my name is such and such. I am a business this and I this and that. You're
credentials. I love those.
Right. You're coming in and you're like, I actually got to meet you. And what do you do? And now we can build an authentic connection for business. Yes. So it's really open to what women are receiving, but the most beneficial thing is, I think, being genuine with yourself.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yes. I attended, last week I had the privilege of attending the women's business conference here in Houston. And so that was one of the main things when I stepped into one of the rooms, that one of the keynote speakers, she was talking about love as a business. Mm-hmm. And so I love that, because if you lead with love, I feel like everything else falls into place. Yes. So like, we come in with an open heart and open mind into these spaces, we leave with something more than what we came for, and something more than what we thought we were going to get. So I love that. Because it's not often that women can get together and then be positive. Right. And so I think you kind of leading that really helps women engage more and be like, okay, well, this is a positive space. This is a safe space. Like, they're really not looking at me crazy. They're really not worried about what I have on. All the things that women worry about, when we're out and about. So I definitely love that. The affirmation coach. I know the minds are wondering, how do we come up with that?
Affirmation coach. Well, because I had to shift my own language. I had to change what I was saying to myself. And I was like, it worked. It worked for me. I am the most confident I have ever been in my life. Love it. I feel empowered. I feel amazing. I love life again. And so when I went and met with my mentor, got to have a mentor, all right? Yes. I went and met with her, and we were like, you need a name, because people keep asking me, what do you do? And when I would say this long drawn out, it was like, oh, okay, so you're like a life coach. And I'm like, no, I'm not a life coach. And I also kind of shied away from titles. Because I was like, I don't want you to know me as a title. Just, I'm Lora. Okay, that's just
because it puts you in a category.
It does.
Yeah.
It boxes you.
It boxes you in.
But then she was like, what about affirmation coach? I said, you know what? I can work with that. I'm creating affirmations. I'm talking about speaking over your life.
You're walking in it every day.
We can actually say that's what it is. And so that's how we came up with it. She kind of put it out there, and it took me a minute to take it because I promise I did not want a title. Like, I'm like, I don't want a title. You know, author is cool because, you know, that's writing a book or something like that. But to put a title on what I'm doing is like, I'm just showing up, turning on videos, having link ups with girls, you know, with women, and just having a good time.
Right.
But I do understand that we as humans need to know what exactly do you do and what does that mean? Oh, okay.
Right.
Now I can kind of receive something more from you because now I know what I'm looking for you, from you. So that's what we came up with, affirmation coach.
They're expecting something now. Now they know what they're expecting.
Exactly.
Like, are you going to tell me something today?
Right.
So your one-on-one sessions, if someone wanted to sign up for your one-on-one sessions, wanted you to coach them, what would they get in those sessions?
Now, I don't do the one-on-one.
Don't do one-on-one. You do group?
I do the group.
Okay.
The group is
coaching.
what we do, and that's technically it is just the Joli Ide Community.
Oh,
I don't do like book the group, book the one-on-one. I've thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe later. And I thought about it, and I just like building the community and having events. Maybe later, like you said, you know. But we are moving into retreats, wellness retreats, and things like that. So. The one-on-one is just not really where I was being led to go.
Hey, and I want to hone in on that for a second. Like being led, like, you know, sometimes we fall into, oh, well, she's doing it or she's doing it. Oh, I need to do that. And so doing what's right for you, like what you feel is right. I love that. I love that you said that because a lot of times it's like, you want to follow the trend because it's trendy, you know, and everybody's doing it, but just slow down and be in your own lane.
Your lane.
Just be in your lane.
Let it unfold.
And
if it don't feel right, don't
do it.
And that's not to say you're not going to get uncomfortable now. We're going to get uncomfortable. That's a part of the process. But you know the difference between getting uncomfortable and doing what you know you're led to do and doing things that you feel like you're forcing.
Exactly.
Two different things.
So, truth speaker.
Yes.
I saw that in your bio. How do we come up with that? I know I watched a couple of your videos, but tell the people what the truth speaker is.
So, you know, I can get a little raw. Okay. I'm turning on right now the clean version.
She's like, I'm
you
don't know how to keep it clean.
Because I don't know if it's going to be bleep, bleep, bleep.
No, we don't bleep anything out.
Let me tell you. So I dropped the F-bomb. I'm shit. My kids know shit. Left and right. They're like, they didn't rush.
She fits right in, guys.
Shit. Okay. And the reason I think it began to shift is because sometimes we need that shock factor to be like, oh, wait, what did you just say? You know, because I know it shocks me sometimes. My own self, when it comes out of my mouth and I'm listening, I'm like, what the hell was I just talking about?
Say that?
But then it's like, now I'm honing in on what the message is. You know, so I have a tendency to get a little raw with it, and I speak what comes to my mind. All right? I slow down. I say what comes to my mind. Is it always right? Maybe not. I don't know. You know, I'm just speaking my truth.
Right.
And is it going to stay the same? I don't know. It may change because I'm evolving every day. Yeah. Right? So what I believed in, what I said yesterday, and you're going to say, well, you said this yesterday. Well, that's what I felt yesterday.
Right. Today I feel different.
This, okay? You know, I learned something different about that. Let me clean it up. Yeah. So that's the type of truth speaking that it is. It's like so many people want to judge. You're quick to point the finger. You're quick to judge. Quick to try to downplay somebody, but you're not quick to step up to that position, that role, right?
Right. You don't know what it
drag
takes.
somebody down to where you are versus step up to what it takes. And it can feel uncomfortable sometimes, but I'm willing to take that chance. Okay.
Right.
Bet on yourself.
And I think in anything you have to be a risk taker. You have to be willing to take a chance. Somebody has to do it. But you're right. You always have those people that are like, oh, that's what you're doing, or. Right. Oh, okay. You know.
Funny story. I even got a call one time and said, you know, you get more people or you get more bees with honey. And I was asked or told, you might want to tone down how you talk. because your aura is just so much love and light. But sometimes when you talk and you say what you say with your cuss words and stuff, it doesn't give that off. And I was like, oh, okay, you know, I appreciate you reaching out to me and stuff. And, you know, keep watching.
Right.
Keep watching.
Maybe I'll take what you said into consideration.
You know,
maybe not.
You know, at the end of the day, if you don't like it, then you're not my tribe.
It's true. It's true. I mean, I've had people say, oh, you need to sit up straight. You need to do this. This is my podcast, so I'm going to do what I want to do. But I thank you for the advice. So I definitely understand where you are. You know, people have an opinion, and that's okay. It's up to us to, like, say, okay, I want to do that, or no, I don't want to do that. And sometimes your opinions aren't warranted. Like, we don't need them, guys. Right, it's okay. Right. Some things are better left unsaid.
And when you put yourself out there in the forefront, you already know. It's a part of it. So just be prepared for it. Yeah. And sometimes you're not prepared for it when you're just starting. I'm talking to probably the entrepreneurs or people that's trying to start getting in front of the cameras real quick. Side note, prepare yourself for all of the backlash.
The comments.
Okay, the comments, all that. It's just what it is. It's going to happen.
It comes with the territory.
It does. Yeah, but it also builds you up, you know?
Mm-hmm. So, it makes you go harder, though.
It does.
It gives you that, like, I don't know. Yes, I don't know if that's a black woman thing or what, because it's like, oh, that's what you think? Okay, I'm gonna gas a little more. Right. Okay? So, I know. It just gives me that little fire, like, okay, I'm going harder.
I don't want to add no more fire up underneath. Right. I take the fire and it's like, oh, snap. I can tell. Is you talking to me? Yes.
I'm coming for your neck. I'm coming for your neck.
I'm coming for you in a good, positive, uplifting, encouraging way, and you're just going to receive it either way with fuck or not. Right. With the words that I express or not.
I love it. I love it. I think people that curse, man, my husband always say, like, people that curse are the most honest, real, genuine people. Like, because we're going to tell you how it is. Yes. Who really made cuss words anyway? Y'all be getting offended over everything. People get offended over every little thing, every little thing. I know. It's crazy. I mean, we have a marriage podcast, and we talk about everything on there. Like, can't believe y'all are talking about that. But it's real. Like, y'all want us to get on here and give you the real, or you want us to give you...
That's why you're here watching, right? That's why you're here watching.
Exactly.
You have a comment, so now you're thinking. There's seeds that's been planted, right? So there's things that sparked within you that triggered for you to want to say something.
Right.
So to me, that seed's planted at the end of the day.
Exactly. Exactly. Let's talk about balance. Balancing it all. Mom, entrepreneur, wife, all the things. How do you do it, girl? Let us know.
Let me breathe on that real quick. Inhale and exhale. Okay, so I actually have an event coming up June 23rd, the Selfish Social Hour, and the topic of discussion is, I'm tired.
Oh, wow.
I'm tired. Okay? I was literally cooking dinner the other night, and I just did a video about this to promote it. And I was cooking dinner, and all of a sudden, my mind just told me, fuck, I'm tired. I'm tired. It has been one thing after another for the past month or so. And so balance looks different for everybody. Mm-hmm. Sometimes balance is receiving love from your kids in that moment. I can't say I'm receiving love from my kids and I'm hustling hard at work. It don't work like that. My balance at that moment might be like, you know, today I'm taking a day off. I'm resting right now and I'm receiving love from my kids. Mm-hmm. I'm enjoying watching them do their sports, you know? And then sometimes it's like, hey, kids, I'm on the computer. Leave me alone. Right? And so it looks different every day, and you just got to feel what's right for you. Right. You know, because it is sometimes I'm like, dang, my kids is tugging at me, and I'm like, but yesterday I was with you all day. Right? So you have to know for yourself. That's not something that I can just say, hey, this is what balance
This is how I do it. Yes.
Right? Because sometimes I don't know how I do it. All right.
It's that it's the superpower within you.
It's just in you.
Yeah.
It is that what is that whole, you know, everything you need is all within you. That's what balance is, knowing that everything you need is all within you.
Yes.
And being very self-aware and mindful of what you need in that moment.
Wow, that was her reel right there, guys. She just said a whole
She said a whole word. Hey, take that, because it looks different for everybody, because you may be married, you may not be married, like all the things. So you have to kind of factor in what works for you. Your wedding anniversary, you just celebrated your wedding anniversary, right?
Yes.
Tell the people how long you've been married.
Oh my gosh, 21 years.
Woo, y'all.
21
years.
years.
Goals.
I got married at 22, very young, to me, when I think back. So there was a lot of growing to do, and we're still going.
I love it, but you're doing it together, and that's what's most important. Yeah. Your brand, how does your husband and your kids fit into your brand? Are they involved in the brand, or are they kind of like, well, do your thing, mom, do your thing, babe?
That's the other, I told you I almost brought my daughter today, because she's like, she actually started my little YouTube today, and I was like, you know what, grab the camera, Mimi, and catch me. So she actually has her own affirmation cards too, called I Am a Vibe. And those were for like the younger girls, and now she's like, Mom, I want to do another set, because she's going to 6th grade. So she's like, I love those, but those are for the younger. So I'm like, so that's you helping the ones underneath you, and then now you're going into middle school, and you're wanting to affirm yourself in this space. So now
I love the way she's thinking. I love it. I love that you're helping her tap into her creative mind.
Yes.
A lot of parents struggle with that.
Yeah.
And so I love that you're letting her just come up with her own ideas and do that. I love it. Legacy. Let's talk legacy. So what do you see in the future for your brand? As far as your daughter, do you want her to kind of take it on later, or how do you kind of want this to keep going?
She's totally stepping in, and so will my son. He wants to actually create his affirmation cards as well, and I think the young black boys need it as well. Do. And so we always are affirming. We have recently created our own little sign. This is the bull. Could sound like something bad, but this is for him to charge the basketball, because he plays basketball. So I'm always affirming him, because he's kind of like the underdog right now, but he's the tallest, right? They look at you, you're tall. You should know how to play basketball. You should know how to do this. And it's like he's the underdog because he's 9, so tall, and trying to understand his limbs. So I'm always affirming him. So I just haven't had time to help him yet, but I'm always getting asked for the, when are you going to do it for the boys?
For the boys.
So that is coming. Definitely want my kids to continue to grow this. This is something that it's already legacy after the loss of my sister.
Yes.
She's a part of this right now. We were supposed to be in partnership for real estate. She was trying to teach me the real estate world, and I just couldn't catch on quick enough during the time frame of when we decided to do that and her passing. And so we're in legacy phase right now, just keeping her name alive, knowing that she fuels me every day, and it helps me fuel my kids, fuel those around me. And the crazy thing is my daughter actually has a relationship with my sister and has never met her. She cries about her. Wow. She feels her, like every time we go for the grave site and everything, like she's like, I know she would have been TikToking with me. Like she actually creates these mental images and these visuals about how it would have been had she been here. And so we're in legacy phase already.
How does that make you feel?
Oh my gosh.
When she tells you about those visions?
It's crazy, because it's nonstop. It's like she is completely there with her, and most people say that they look alike. So her first name, Miranda, is my sister's middle name. And so everybody's like, that's Latrice. I'm like, I do, because that little sassy mouse, us getting together, I'm like, she's my bestie, but baby, I'm like, I do feel like it is me and you, Latrice.
I love her again.
You're coming through this. What is it? So definitely seeing the business continue to grow. Now, I know I promote self-ish, and it's all about me, and everything empowering yourself. But that means that I'm able to pour into my family even more. Right? Because a lot of people are like, how you promote selfish, and you got a husband and you got kids, and it's like, we think selfish is egotistical, and that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about being empowered within ourselves so that we can help those in our space.
Yeah, because in order to be the best version of you, you have to be empowered.
You do.
To do that. I can't, if I'm not at 100% or at least at 90, I can't do anything for my family and my, your kids.
You try.
You can't. You try.
We try.
But it's
That's
not gonna. You're not gonna be
real.
as effective as you would be if you were empowered. I love that. I love it. Oh my God, your daughter. I watched. I think you had a reel with her. She created her own little reel with the
She's
cards.
on TikTok. Yes.
Yes, I love.
She creates her own stuff.
I thought she was older. And I was like, oh, 6th grade. Oh, yeah, she's on it. She's on it. She's already a little entrepreneur. Yes. So for any women who are trying to maybe start their brands, or maybe they have a story that they want to tell, what advice would you have for them?
I would say, whatever space you're in right now, be that and show up as that. Turn on the camera and do it. Get you a mentor, for sure. You definitely want a mentor. My mentor has helped me from day one after losing my sister. And you want to be around people that are doing the things that you want to do. Okay? That is number one. If you're hanging around people that are not, then you're not going to get it done. You're going to continue doing the same old pattern. You're stepping into a new space in entrepreneurship or building your business, building your brand. So you have to go into that lane of things. Mm-hmm. And that sometimes is letting some people fall off, right? That sometimes is being in solitude, being by yourself so you can hear your own thoughts, be still, hear your own thoughts, and make decisions for yourself versus being influenced by everybody else.
Right.
Yeah. So I think that's the biggest thing is don't be afraid because we're all just figuring shit out as we go.
Exactly.
I'm just saying.
Y'all wouldn't believe it. People don't realize how much research goes into things too. Like you don't just jump out there. Like there's some work that you have to do behind the scenes. And so when you see people on video and we see the brand, there's some work that went on behind the brand. And she said something key. She has a mentor. Yeah. And so you need to get a mentor. Somebody has already done it. So why recreate the wheel when they've already done it? You can take it and then add your own twist on it.
Yes. I wanted to add to that research.
Yeah.
There's definitely research behind it. But sometimes you can fall into the research so much in the beginning that you never get started. Yes. So that's why I say turn on the camera and then the creative juices will begin to flow. Mm-hmm. Then that's when you start thinking and the questions and then the right people start coming and then you start realizing, well, this is what I need to look more into. Mm-hmm. So sometimes if you start with research first, you get lost and then you're so overwhelmed by it that you won't start.
I definitely agree. I told myself last year, I said, I'm not making another damn vision board. I'm not making any more damn vision board. No, because I need to focus on what is on these vision boards already. Right. Because you find yourself like every year recreating a vision board. And it's like, damn, I haven't even did half of the shit that's on this one. So what?
I tell you what, I've never really been into vision boards, but my sister did have a vision board. That is the only vision board that I have. It's her vision board that was left behind. One of the things I do is more like, I like to kind of rewrite stuff out every day. I make a check mark, and then it's like I'm flipping the page. I also have notebooks as well. Yes.
Yes.
But I rewrite most things every day. And by doing that, it feels good because I'm able to see what I'm checking off.
Yes.
The vision board is more so long term, so it's fun to have up and you see and it's like boom, boom, boom when you can get there. But sometimes it feels like it's so far that it just overwhelms you once again, and it's like break it down into the bite size. What you need to do today.
Right.
Get intentional about your week, and then break it down into today. Okay? And then you'll find yourself on that vision board, like, that was it. I made it.
I made it. Yeah, no. Like she said, some of the stuff that we put on the vision board is like long-term stuff. It's not stuff. So I think you can motivate yourself a little more when you do break it down. And she has notebooks, guys. We're going to talk about more of the products that you have. So let's talk about all the products that you have available so they can go and purchase.
Okay, well.
We're going to have those links in the description for y'all.
Yeah, so I have like the self-love shirts. Today I'm representing because I have events coming up. So ask me about the selfish experience. Obviously, promo, that's another one for you.
Right.
Walk around branding yourself.
Wear your
You don't
brand.
always have to be this glamorous thing. I like to come out glamorous, but I also like to brand. Ask me about the selfish experience. That's what's going to make me glamorous, okay?
Right.
So I have shirts that say self-love, and basically you're a walking affirmation on your shirt, okay? You walk past the mirror, you're affirming yourself.
Right.
So I have the shirts, I have a few notebooks, I have the affirmation cards, the 3 sets that I spoke about, and I think that's where we are right now. That's where we are right now.
Tell the people where they can find it. The website, we'll have it on the screen for you guys as well.
Joliide.com, Joliide.com. That is my website. You can find it there. You can also find it on Instagram at Joliide, at Joliide, or if you're following me, Lora Rosemon, LORAROSEMON_. All of those links are in the Instagram as well. I also want to say, follow me on YouTube. Okay,
she has a YouTube channel, guys. Go check it out. I've checked out some of her videos, but her community is there as well, so you guys can go over there and be a part of it. Check it out. She has some amazing content. I remember when I first messaged her, I was like, oh my God, I've been following you. I love what you're doing. And I went and started checking out all our stuff, which is why I don't have to use my paper over here because I've been doing my research. So I like to come ready. I'm like, I have so many questions I want to ask her. But the notebook. So what's in the notebook? Is the notebook just?
It's just a basic notebook. It's the dotted. It's really more open for you to do what you want to do inside. I did have a workbook, and I'm in a phase of recreating that, so it's not out. I pulled the one that I have because I want to get even more intentional. You start creating and then you get more creative, and then it's like, this is where I want it to be. So that's why I say you got to start, because what your first thing is, what your first product is, if you saw my affirmation cards from the beginning, you'd be like, oh, this is where you started. Interesting, right? But I had to start. So I pulled the workbook, but look forward to that as well. But the notebook is just on the cover. It may say like the self-love, self-worth, self-discovery. One of them says, what's my favorite one? I can't remember what it is. It's at the top of my head. I'm looking right at it.
We'll come back to it.
It's going to come to me when I'm not thinking about it.
So she's a Louisiana girl. I heard her say that in a couple of the things that she was talking about. So which part of Louisiana are you from?
Lafayette, Opelousas. Like I said, don't ask me about that. We got to get my mama on here to.
She'll be like, you did not say the right thing. She's going to see this episode because it's going to be on YouTube.
Hey, the small town on the way to Louisiana, Raywood, Liberty, Dayton, Texas. If you know what that is, that's where I was raised in Liberty, Texas. I grew up, born in Liberty. So the little small, tiny country towns on the way to Louisiana is what I know. Any further, it's like, Mom, Uncle, somebody got to tell me my,
Right.
I'm H-Town.
She gonna get you. She gonna get you.
H-Town. Hey, that's okay. I tell you.
She gonna be like, wait, boy, you don't know nothing?
I can only tell you what I know, and that is all right with me.
That is all right. So were you and your sister the only two? Yeah. Oh, okay. So now it's just you.
It's just me, and she was the oldest.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
2 years older than me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're adapting now to just being by yourself.
Yeah.
So at what age did she pass away? Because I don't think
32.
32.
Yeah, 2011.
Okay. 32. Oh, wow.
At the age of 32.
And so y'all are 2 years apart?
2 years.
Okay. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I'm just like, I'm trying to make sure I hit all the points I want to hit. Goals. So what are your goals moving forward? I want the selfish experience. Where can they go and find info about that?
All of that is on my site
as well.
I also have a selfish experience _HTX page that is specifically for the events. So you can go on there on Instagram and you'll see, like, we have our 3-month lineup right now, which is, like I said, June 23rd is the one for this month. Then we have July, August, and we'll be expanding that out. But we don't want to put too much out there that it overwhelms you. So you can go on there and see all of the events that we have there. Like I said, wellness is coming up. The wellness retreat probably will be 2024. And we might, take it in flight next. So
I like that.
That's what we're doing.
I like that. So do you find that your community is growing? Like,
yes.
Are people starting to bring more people and kind of?
Yes. Okay. Yes, absolutely. I mean, once you experience it for yourself, you're kind of like,
I'm going to have to experience one. I'm going to have to come experience one.
Yes.
This one that's coming up is on the 23rd. It's going to be.
It's a Friday.
In the Woodlands?
Woodlands.
Okay, in the Woodlands. It's going to be in the Woodlands. I'm going to check that one out. I don't know if I don't think I have anything on that day, but I may check that one out.
That one's a Friday Selfish Social Hour. July and August are going to be Sunday events at the same location. So those are like our Selfish Sunday Fun Day out.
Okay.
So different
we all
vibes,
love a good
different
H-Town Sunday Fun Day. But I just want to say personally, thank you so much for accepting the invitation.
Yes.
I definitely appreciate it. You coming and sitting through the heat, guys, because it's hot in here. But I like to take this part of the show to kind of turn it around and let you ask me questions.
Okay.
So this is the time where I like to do that. So what are your questions for me?
Yes. First of all, the title, Allow Yourself Grace, spoke to me. So where did that come from?
First of all, I was playing with the idea of starting a podcast on my own, doing stuff on my own, because I'm so used to doing stuff with my husband, and now I'm like, God is like tugging on me to like do stuff, and I'm like, well, I don't have a name. I don't know. I came up with every excuse, and that was the name that He gave me for my story. So for me, Allow Yourself Grace is like, don't be so hard on yourself. Like, give yourself credit, because there was a time in my life where I wouldn't give myself credit. Like, I would achieve goals and just be knocking stuff out the park and just be like, oh, okay, yeah. Like, okay, calm down. It's not that big of a deal, but we have to celebrate where we are. We have to celebrate our accomplishments along the way. And so that's where that name came from, just learning to, like, celebrate what you've done already. Because we stay so focused on where we're going. Instead of learning to be excited about where we're at.
In the present moment.
And that's okay to be present. So that's where the name Allow Yourself Grace came from.
So was there one moment that you can think of that was like, this is my aha moment? Like, what am I doing with myself? Like, I am not giving myself enough of credit, and I'm not giving myself grace. Like, was there a moment that you were like, oh my gosh?
Yes. That moment, my sister and I were having a conversation, and she was just like talking about, how she aspires to be like me. And I'm like, what? Why? Why? And she's telling me all these things, and I'm just like, wow. Like, I don't even think of myself like that. So for her to put me on that pedestal and to look at me in that manner, it just really
wow.
It gave me that, like, I really need to just accept my influence, because I do have a lot of influence. So that's the moment. I think we were on the phone that day having a conversation, and when she said that, I was like, you know what?
That's
You're
powerful.
right. Because I think we struggle with stepping into who we really are sometimes. We play with the idea like, nah, that ain't it. But it really isn't. And so I found myself going back to what was already instilled in me, what was already in me, going back to that.
Wow.
Yeah, because sometimes we lose it along the way.
That's the human in us.
Right, right.
The stumble and then back full forward, Okay.
Yeah.
So the marriage podcast you have, right? I'm asking about that because how is that working with Hubster? I call mine the Hubster. How is that working with your husband in the podcast?
You know it's going to be some arguments. No, come on now. We're going to argue. You're going to argue because you have a co-host. But I think it's just learning to, like, figure out what you're good at and what I'm good at, and then we kind of, like, work together. We do really well, though. We have so many episodes. We started that one first during COVID.
Oh.
So we're, like, deep in. We have a whole community behind the scenes. Yeah, so we're doing it. We just flow naturally now.
So how long have y'all been married?
We've been married 5 years. We've been together 9.
5 years,
Yeah.
9. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's beautiful.
I know.
So look, with that, what advice do you have for those that are just getting married, thinking about getting married, or that's in it and needs that little extra pep to keep it motivated, loving, and going?
I would say always be respectful, and that's something I'm still learning because my mouth is slick. So if your
That wasn't, I meant that in a nice way. The slick mouth.
We can be, women, we don't realize our words, like we have a way with our words. So I would say if you're single, just start to kind of like watch what you say. Not that you can't be honest, not that you can't be transparent, but just monitor what you say and how you say it, because once you say something, you can't take it back.
Right.
So we have to
And I think
realize.
men do not receive or can accept as easily as we kind of like let stuff kind of go over our shoulder. We're kind of like, oh, whatever. Men will hold on.
Yes.
From, my experience and my
Yes. And they'll tell you later. I think my husband's learning to tell me like right then, because I'm like, why you wait like 2-3 weeks later and now we still talking about this? Like, women, she's right. We want to get over like 5 seconds. It's like on to the next. Why are we still on this? But yeah, they take it to heart. That, and always communicate and be together. I don't do well when people are like, I'm not saying I don't go places by myself, so let's get that out there. But what I am saying is that if you're always going places by yourself, then that's a problem. Try to be together. And that was some advice I got from my grandparents. They've been married 50 years.
That's some good stuff.
And my grandma was always like, go with your husband. You need to be with your, I don't know. Yeah, but sometimes you need to be with your husband. So, like, try to be with your husband more than you're with your friends.
Gotcha.
Let's say that.
Okay, well, and now with saying that, how do you feel about, like, what you follow? I'm talking about selfish. How does that fall in place with you and, let's say, like, your girl hangouts, if it's the selfish social hour,
Right.
if it was a selfish getaway retreat, if it's somewhere where you're like, I'm getting out of here for me, like, how does that play in with you when it's like, no, but I really love being with my, with my better half?
I think it's
like,
communication, though.
Okay.
Like, if I'm going somewhere, I'm like, hey, on this date, I'm going to be over here. This is where I'm going. So I think it's just making sure you're communicating,
But do you receive, like, the selfishness? Like, are you
Yes.
like, okay.
I was going, Friday, like, he knows, like, there's certain days, it's like, this is my hair day. Just,
Okay.
Like, no, you got to have your days that you're like, of course, and they need their days, too.
Right, they do.
So that's what I'm saying. Just making sure you're communicating and you're planning that stuff out. Not the, oh, where you at? Oh, I'm over here. I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want that.
Right.
So if I don't want that from him, then I need to make sure that I'm doing my part as well, because sometimes it doesn't mean a lot to us. Like, oh, I'm at happy hour. Like, I'm just with so-and-so. It shouldn't be a big deal. Hey, I'm here. But you didn't communicate that beforehand.
Right.
You're already there, number one. My thing is, you're already there.
Yeah.
So you didn't even ask me. You didn't think about me.
There? I didn't cross your
You're
mind.
already there.
Yeah.
So
I feel
that's it can be tricky, but I think you just need to do what works for you. When you get in a marriage or you get in a relationship, you kind of like figure it out. I think you figure it out, because you can't do everything the exact same way as your grandparents or the next person. You got to kind of figure out your own way.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. She can correct me if I'm wrong. She's been married longer than me, y'all.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to say I love my me time.
Yeah.
I do. As
I think
being
we all
married
do.
this long and with kids, I kind of appreciate my Target runs a lot. Okay?
And sometimes I just go to Starbucks.
Yeah. Look, it's
Let
the
me just
small,
go.
simple spurts.
It's the little stuff. A glass of wine. Just before 3 hours before you get home, I got the house to myself.
Yeah.
Those moments you appreciate.
Yes. Because we planned out this year was like, we just had our family vacation. I'm about to do Essence, which is girls trip, and then we have a couples trip. So it's kind of like, that's part of balance too.
That's balance.
And it looks different for everyone. You might not want the girls trip. You might be over that. Like, I hadn't had them in a very long time. And so now entering back in it, I'm like, I'm kind of looking forward to this. It feels new
I haven't
again,
done this in a while. Yeah.
it's also business and it's play. So it's like I'm going to network, but I'm also there to play a little bit too, have some cocktails.
Business and play is a good mixture, y'all.
Yeah.
It's always a good mixture. When I went to the conference last week, I was like, oh, I like this. It was all women. Well, there were men there, but it was mostly women's event. And so you see all these women that are just doing their thing. And so you're having fun, but you also get empowered by it, because you're actually connecting with like-minded people. And so last question for you. Do you have any more for me? Last question for you. How important is networking?
Oh my goodness. Let me tell you, I used to run from that shit.
Wow.
It is very important. It is. And I think after COVID, it got really easy to just be like, I'm using social media to do what I need to do. You can't do that. You got to get out and see people. Like, I'm happy to be on this couch today to meet Miss Courtney and her husband, because you have to make the connection personally. I'm not saying social media is not good, but that is only one.
That's one
small
avenue.
All right?
I'm getting better at it.
But I like to go to networking events, like I said, where you're like, hey, my name is. No, because everybody's coming there thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell you and you trying to tell me, and did we really make the connection? I'm like, whose card is this? So, but it's very, very important. And I think finding the right way to network, getting out, branding yourself, even just being in the mall, opening your mouth, shopping. I talk to everybody. I don't meet a stranger. I'm on the elevator. We're not listening to elevator music. I'm gonna say, how you doing? Now, if you don't receive it, then I'm not gonna be pushy.
Because you are gonna have those people. Yeah,
you are gonna have those people that don't receive it. So networking at events, and not just at events, just being sociable. Even if you are an introvert, just being sociable, just showing up. Getting off of social media can make a huge difference in your business and growing.
It can. This year, I've been pushing myself. My husband and I, we've been going to networking events. I've been going by myself to a couple groups, and I've been enjoying it because it's just very empowering to see women come together, to see all entrepreneurs come together. There's a facility, I don't know if you've been to it, it's called the Cannon over here in Houston. It's a whole place for entrepreneurs. We went to a networking event there, and so that's what I'm saying. Like, there's spaces for entrepreneurs to get together, and so the more you get out, the more you meet people, you learn about these things, and so it's just so amazing. And so
but even how you reached out to me. So if you're gonna use social media, then talk, get out. Some people will respond, some people will not. Because sometimes I'm thinking, is this a bot? Is this real? And it's like you go look at their page, you do your research, and you're like, this is a real person.
They're just not responding.
Hey, let me talk to you because you are real. You're not like when I go over there, it's like one post and it's, whatever, and that's just them pushing something. But anyway, that is another way to network too if you just need to tiptoe your way in it. Is reaching out, having a little small verbiage that you can copy paste in there and be like, I'd love to talk to you, or I have a podcast, would you be interested in joining, or I have a selfish social hour, would you be interested? Like, that is another way. It's not the only way, but it is a way.
It is another way
as well.
And you can get results faster sometimes that way, but just by saying something. Because the people you think won't come or say or interact with you, they will. They're real people.
Real people.
I had a lady that I messaged today. I've been watching her for a while too, and I'm like, I saw her at an event and I got her card. We talked, and I said, hey, I followed up with her, and she's like, sure. And so you just never know what the result of meeting one person can bring you like 25 people. You never know.
Make the call, set the appointment, right?
Get it done. Last thing, my husband and I are hosting a gala. I'm going to make her say she's coming on camera.
I like
we're hosting a gala where we're inviting all of the entrepreneurs and everybody that has been on our podcast. It's in November. We'll be inviting you to come out with your hubby. It'll be a black tie affair. So we'll be all dressed up and stuff. All the black excellence in the building. And so everybody that will be coming will be receiving an award for being on our podcast. And so we're super excited about that.
I'm there. I love it.
All right.
Amazing.
Anything you want to leave with the people?
If there's nothing else that you received from today, would be breathe and be selfish. Breathe and be selfish, real quick, is the breathe part is being present. All right. Before you do anything, be still for a moment. Sometimes you are cluttered, your mind is going 100, and you're moving off of reaction, off of old shit in your mind that you shouldn't be. I'm just saying. And sometimes you need to breathe to silence that so that you can move off of your true self and what's truly guiding you and leading you. So that inhale and exhale helps you do that. That selfish is knowing that when you pause for a moment to be present, that you're showing more of an empowered you because now you're in control. And you're loving yourself more, and you're showing that to the world, and you're owning your self-worth, and you're respecting yourself, and you're stepping into the best version of yourself daily because we're continuously evolving. So if nothing else you receive from me is breathe and be selfish.
I love it. All right, guys. We'll see you in the next episode. Peace.
Yay, that was so good.
Well, guys, that concludes our episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Allow Yourself Grace podcast. For additional information about today's episode, please click the link in the show notes below. To learn more about our Grace Girls community and other resources we have to offer, head over to www.allowyourselfgrace.com. Until next time, Grace Girls, I love you all, be blessed, and continue to strive for success.